Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Minecraft with A-Dub. We are pretty much finished with this farm. I might add a pumpkin patch, but for the most part, I think I am done. Ooh, look at that. I found the zoom key. So I can actually zoom in and show you things that I'm looking at. So you all seen all this before, but coming over here, look at this. We got a potato patch that went in. We have a, oh, my nose is doing something. Oh, goodness. We have a carrot patch. Holy cow, listen to that. We have a place for some reeds. I added a little tree farm over here. Again, I haven't put in a pumpkin patch, but it might be there. And I added some vines there, a vineyard. So that's what I have. Sneezes all day today. Goodness gracious. That's what I have so far. Oh boy, a great way to start off the video. I also found someone else over here. A little guy named Rufus. I found him running around my house killing skeletons one night. So I gave him a bone and he came and he's protecting our house here. But none of this is what we have in store for today. In the future, I plan on building a library because, as you can see, I have so many cows, I can easily build the books and bookshelves that I need for enchanting. You can also see that from breeding and killing cows, I've brought myself up to level 28, which is pretty impressive. I'm thinking I'm going to put a library way up on this hill or something. It's, I think, just like a little mysterious hut up there, kind of like like a little place of worship or something like that. Just something up on this hill that maybe the farmer went up there. It's like a remote location for librarying that passers-by can go to. So I'm thinking of that. Again, the thoughts in my mind, maybe in the jungle atop a tree. I don't know. We'll see. That'll be the next episode. But for today's episode, we're going to be doing something kind of interesting. So I'm going to take us down into this area here. All right, this might look familiar to some of you out there. This is my little mine shaft. And I have a little hole in here because I've started a construction project. Now I decided that I'm going to need a bunch of the resources from the mobs here in Minecraft. And there's, you can get it from fighting at night. But one of the other ways to do it, one of the, I think, more efficient ways of doing it, is by creating a mob grinder. Yes, a mob grinder. It's going to be fun. So this is the basic layout, and it needs to actually be mirrored on both sides. The cool thing about having a mob grinder underground is it's really easy to just carve it out. It's also not super ugly or anything like that, like above ground mob grinders. And also, it doesn't really require me to be AFK. I can just do stuff in like above ground and let this thing run, and then then it'll take care of itself. Maybe at some point I'll set up a system of lights up here that I can turn on and off to turn the mob grinder on and off. I think that'd be cool. But for now, this is what we have set up. So mainly I'm doing this so I can get a hold of the bones, because bone blocks got added in the past, or in this last update. So bones would be really great. The other thing that would be really great is ender pearls, because at some point we're going to want to get to the end. I'm not sure if this will generate ender pearls. We'll see. It has a very small section, about from here to halfway over, that Enderman would be able to spawn in. The rest of it is just for everyone else. And I guess I could open that up if I wanted to, so we could get more ender pearls. But for the most part, we're looking for bone blocks, and anything else that we might be able to do there is going to be great. So Here's what I'm going to do. I've got this side of the layout done. I'm going to finish up the other side of the layout and then come back to you and explain exactly what I'm going to be doing with the rest of this mob grinder. Okay, so here we have it. This right here is the finished layout. Again, this isn't going to be the finished design. But this is the finished layout for our mob farm. Now, I have it lit up right now, otherwise mobs would actually start spawning in here, which can get a little frustrating. So this follows the canal mob farm that you can see on the Minecraft wiki. Essentially, what you have is on the outside here, you have all these spaces where mobs can spawn. And then they walk over and they fall down into an area that's too high. So this will be too high in a second. That is filled with flowing water, which flows down to this block right here and stops. It won't go any further than 8 blocks. And then that flows them, it diverts them into this right here, which is going to be a hole 40 blocks high. So they'll fall down that 40 block hole, run into the ground, and they will be taken care of there, so to speak. The thing that I want to add to this, which is going to come in much later, is, and I'll need the mobs actually to start spawning to test for it. But the thing that I want to add to this is I want to set it up so it is essentially 1 block off. So if they fall down that 1 block to, like, say this is the 1 block down here. If they fall down to here, they die. But if they fall down to right here, they take all damage except for a little bit. That way, we can turn it into both a mob farm and an XP farm. So essentially what I'll set up is a series of pistons. You flip the switch, they don't die. All I got to do is come in here and go boom, 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 you know, hit them once with my fist to kill them. XP, okay? Or I flip that off and boom, now they just fall all the way down and they die there, and the things collect, their stuff collects in a series of hoppers, which goes into chests. So that is the plan for that, but that'll take a little bit of testing because I'm not really sure about the drop height. I'm sure I could look it up, but instead of doing the math, I'd rather just do trial and error because it makes it a little bit easier. Okay, so in order to do this, these need to be 2 down, and as you can see, this is 16 long, so one of these levels needs to be lower than the others. So essentially what you have here, though, is you have a hole of 4, which it isn't a hole yet, but I've got it marked with torches. So a hole of 4, and then 8 out, okay? And then you go 8 out this way, so, you know, that's 4, and that's 4, so 8 out this way. Okay, and then every other thing, you put these canals. All right, so you just dig these canals. And again, those are 8. See, it's all in series of 8s because water flows in series of 8s. And so I wanted to add another wing onto this a little bit further out. So I just went another 8 out. And you could theoretically continue it forever and ever if you wanted to. The other thing that you could do is you could stack it on top and bottom. But I think for our purposes, this is going to be just fine. I don't really see any reason to get more mobs than what this is going to generate. I think this is going to be a pretty good amount of mob drops. And again, it's just a set it and forget it situation. So I'll be out building and then I'll come back and there should be lots and lots of loot underneath for me to collect. So this should be just big enough. So I am going to finish up the second phase of this, and then I'll come back to you and explain how we set this water up. So I will see you in just a second. Okay, so we have this cut out. Oh boy, it's thunder and lightning outside. Crazy. I guess it's because I'm a mad scientist. Anyways, so we have this carved out, and you can see I have this stepped up, so they'll always be falling down 2. for the most part. This inside area has a few 3s, but for the most part, they'll always be falling down 2 into these things, so that way they will be willing to jump off and fall down. The other thing is each one of these are in 8s, as we previously talked about, and they'll all be able to go in there. And I'm going to show you in just a sec here. I'm going to give you a demonstration of how this works. So, I've got my infinite water generator here, and I'll probably want to go grab some more buckets. You can see the water flows all the way. Okay, see? It flows all the way to the end there, and it stops right there. Okay, so you do this to every single one of these, and what's going to happen is the monsters will spawn on these top platforms that I am standing on right now. And then what they'll do is they'll fall off into these, because they'll say, oh, a fall of 2, no big deal. Monsters will jump off 2 high falls. You know, they'll jump off of that. They don't have any issue with doing that. So they'll spawn up here, they'll fall down into the water down there, and the water is going to channel them into this little channel right here, which pushes them, and I'm going to show you that in a second. So you've got these ones here. This block is just so I can get back up, by the way. You got these ones here, and one more right there. There we go. So you can see, if I'm a mob, I come over here. Say I'm a mob on the corner. I fall down right here. Okay, and the mob's gonna kind of chill out. I can't jump up out, can't get out. Okay, then from here, see how that works? Pours all the way down, and then it's gonna go all the way down into that hole right there. Alrighty, so I have this place torched up good, and it looks like everything is flowing well. So if I fell into here, I would go, blah, 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 blah. I would fall into there, and it would push me directly, boom, into that. Cool. So we have a wonderful little mob farm going on here. I'm just noticing that this is, oh well, it doesn't matter. I don't care. I was just noticing that is going to, if it's one block off, that's going to kill them, but oh well, I guess a few can die. It doesn't really affect it. Anyways, so we are going to have to go 39 blocks downwards from here. I've torched this area up here really well. And I say 39 because I'm already 1 down. Yeah, so it's 40. I torched this area up here really well because I don't want any mobs falling on my head as I do this. So the best way to do this is just to go around you at first and then continue down like so. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at the bottom. Unfortunately, I miscalculated slightly and we were only able to get like 35 distance down. I'm kind of hoping that's enough. If not, I can always work out a system that kills them with pistons. Otherwise, it's just going to be both a mob and XP farm, which should also work out fine. No big deal. So what I've placed here is a series of these things, hoppers. So the hoppers will feed any sort of loot that comes from the mobs into this right here. As you can see, I dropped one in there just to make sure. So see how that goes right into there when it falls on there. So the only thing left to do now is to head up and get rid of all the lighting. So it's just a simple matter of coming through and destroying all of these torches here, which should be pretty cool. I'm kind of excited. I guess right now would be a good time to tell you, after you watched most of the video, because I'm a trickster. I've never actually tried this before. I'm pretty confident that it's going to work, because just based on the stuff that I read on the wiki This seems like the right course of action as far as going through a mob farm. It seemed like you needed at least 2 up, and you needed these canals. So simple mob farm diverts these canals. Obviously, there's probably other mob farms out there that are more specific to the type of mob that you're looking to collect from. But this one seemed like it was one that would just give us a good general collection of mobs. And I'm not really sure how quickly this will start spawning. It's possible that as we're breaking these out, stuff will start spawning. You can see there's already a bat over there spawning in this area because it's, bats spawn in dark caves. And look at that. There we have a zombie, and he already has spawned, so he's going to be, let's see if he drops down. Hey, there he goes. And it's already working. And he's dead. So it looks like this thing is gonna work. We're gonna have to go down and see what sort of situation we have as far as loot goes. But I think this thing is actually starting to work. Just the torches. So he must not have dropped anything when he came down. I'm not really sure. Oh, I am sort of hearing mobs right now. Not really sure what we're looking at here. Hopefully this starts working. So maybe I'll cut it right now and then wait to see when those mobs start spawning, start dropping down here. Well, this is kind of working. It's not quite as efficient as I'd like it to be, and I also would like to see it happen faster. I think I might end up doing a different style of mob farm. I have other plans. This is something I've noticed. It doesn't drop anything if I'm not watching, but if I come over here and watch, then you can see these guys. They walk right in there. And they definitely die at the end of those mob drops. I did realize we're not going to get anything from Endermen because, well, they're allergic to water. They don't like the water. So this isn't going to get me those Ender Pearls that I wanted. So I think in the future we're going to have to overhaul this mob spawner. For now, yes, for now it seems like it's working pretty well. But I'm not entirely happy with it. Oh, there goes that skeleton with that armor on. There we go. And boom, he goes in. So it is working. It was really easy to make. I would just, if I were you and I were making a mob spawner, a good way to start out spawning mobs. Good way, nice and easy for an AFK mob farm. This is going to be the way to go, but definitely not the amount of spawning that I wanted to see. I do have a plan for another mob farm. We can still use this existing area. It's just going to take some doing in order to build. So we'll leave this one as it is. I think we're working out just fine the way that it is right now. I think we're getting plenty of stuff, and I could AFK this thing for a little bit, maybe AFK for about an hour and see what sort of resources we get. I think it's not bad. I think we'll get something pretty good. In fact, let's watch these two guys fall down, and then we'll go down and see what we've had. I don't know, in the past 5 minutes. So I've been looking at this for a couple minutes before I started talking to you guys, and oh, there goes a little guy. All right, so let's go see what sort of loot we have down here right now, just to see what we've gotten in 5 minutes worth of time. It's good to, I think 5 minutes is a good measure of what sort of stuff we can get. No one alive down here. A little bit of XP because I was hitting some skeletons in. Yeah, that's not bad after 5 minutes. There's nothing to shake a stick at or anything like that. It's not a massive amount like I would have liked, but we do have plenty of bone, plenty of arrows, lots of rotten flesh. Those glass bottles, yeah, those come pretty cheap. It's not bad. I'm generally pleased with it, and I think a little bit of AFK if I need some bones or something like that's gonna be good. Hey, look at that! Well, we do know that it's working now, don't we? I was not expecting that. It freaked me out a little bit. Oh, so it's a little slow, and I have plans for another mob farm in the future. But I think it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm gonna call that episode there. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me on this experimental mob farm situation. Something I've never done before, and something I wanted to see how it works out. So, thank you for watching, I guess is what I'm trying to say. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you really liked it, hit the subscribe button. And if you didn't like it, well, I'm sure there are plenty of really awesome mob farm tutorials that you can watch that will give you something with a little bigger item drop than this one right now.